Ladies and gentlemen, hello, TotallyDubbed here, and today I'm doing a video review on the Tineco PURE ONE S12 cordless vacuum cleaner. Now this model was announced in China and recently has been announced in the US as well. UK availability and pricing are soon to follow. Now the reason I say that is because I'm very much based in the UK, as you might hear from my groggy type of accent. That doesn't mean that I wasn't interested to see it, because this model very much competes directly with the Dyson V11. In terms of performance standpoint, or at least for US viewers, you'd be very much intrigued to know if I can buy this for a little bit cheaper than this V11, should I do so? Well, in this review, I'll be doing an unbiased, unpaid, unsponsored review and comparison of these two models. And that's why Tineco actually approached me, because they really liked my V11 review and were very much intrigued to see what I would actually find of my results of this vacuum cleaner. Now this model can be found in three separate variants. You've got the S12M, which is a cheaper variant at $500, so yes, it's still very expensive, but $500 gets you lower capacity batteries than the S12 and also a different sort of brush head. The S12, which is the model I have on review here, can be found for $600 and also comes with a direct drive cleaner head and higher capacity batteries. Then the S12 Plus basically has the same as the S12 but has a soft roller a brush head as well. So bear that in mind if you're confused in terms of the models. That's what the breakdown is. More information can be found in this link in the description below, where you can find Tineco's website or even the Amazon listings, which break it down pretty well. So now without further ado, let's get into this review. So you might be wondering what you get in the box. Well, this is for the regular S12 model. You've got the main body itself, the direct drive cleaner head, the tube, a soft dusting brush, a 2-in-1 brush, a crevice tool, a filter cleaning tool, which I'll get into in just a bit, a mini motorized tool, an extension tube with a flexible sort of design, manuals, and a maintenance tool, which is useful for getting rid of jams or even cleaning the actual machine itself. And then you've got a wall mounting kit, and yes, you do get a dock. And better still, you also get an additional battery, a lithium-ion battery as well. Now, this does have removable batteries, and I'll get into that in just a bit, but I want to talk about the dock quickly because it is pretty convenient. Not only does it allow you to charge the actual main body itself via the connector ports, which are over here and underneath the vacuum cleaner there, but it also allows you to simultaneously charge the battery. So therefore, if you were to deplete your battery on the vacuum cleaner, you could plug it into the dock, have it charged while you're still using the main body with your given accessories. Now, I am in the UK, as I said before, but this didn't come with a UK plug. Instead, it comes with the Chinese/US plug. Just bear that in mind in case you're going to be importing it for some odd reason. Now, the actual main body itself, let's go into a little bit more depth about it. First of all, there's the HEPA filter, which can be removed at the top and can be washed and cleaned and obviously dried and all that good stuff. The battery is removed from the bottom, very easy to remove. The battery is pretty heavy, so just bear that in mind, but it just slides in and there you go, it's plugged in and ready to go. Then you've got the trigger and a sort of little latch. Now, what does the latch do? You might wonder. Well, it's going to keep the unit running. And I'll show you that when I turn on the unit and show you the display as well. The bin itself is a 0.6 litre bin, just placing something underneath here so you can see the mechanism. If I push the button, it kind of opens it up like so, and you can see there's a bit of dirt. Unfortunately, there's no sort of scraping mechanism like there is on the Dyson V11. Instead, you have to kind of remove this, and you can tap it out and then put it back in. It's pretty simple, but unfortunately there's no other two ways around it. The 0.6 litre bin is also smaller than Dyson V11's 0.76 litre bin, so you can suck up less stuff, but given the mechanism is pretty easy to do, I don't see that being a massive problem, but just worth bearing in mind that it has a smaller bin than the V11. Now, let's talk about that little display that I mentioned at first, and also the way it integrates with the app. So yes, it does have an app, and the app works via Wi-Fi, so it's 2.4 gigahertz frequency only, so not 5 gigahertz. Connects up very easily, and then you can see some statistics of your cleaning. So now I'm going to show you the trigger mechanism with the latch, and then also show you the app at the same time. So it might go a little bit loud here, so just bear that in mind. So as I turn it on over here, what you'll straight away notice is that this little dial over here, and then the battery life, and then let's say the Wi-Fi logo. Wi-Fi logo over here, as you can see, stop flashing, which means that it's connected to my phone. And I'm going to activate the latch, and the latch means I don't have to keep my hand on the trigger to keep it on. Now the actual app integration is actually really well done. What you can do over here is manually adjust the power via the app, and as you can see, it instantaneously picks it up. But other than that, the app doesn't really show you that much more other than the filter health, the battery level, which you can see also at the top of the unit, and also gives you a small little breakdown of your cleaning performance. It's not something that's fundamental, but it's just useful to have. Now at the top over here, what you'll see is there is a sort of suction meter. This is a touch-based control, so if I were to drag it up, you'll be able to see it adjusts with touch. So simply drag up and down to do that. You can also hit the auto button for it to go on auto mode. So then it will automatically detect with what attachment you've got and go based on that. Now the battery level is indicated over here. It goes red when it gets critical, so bear that in mind. And then you've got this blue sort of spectrum at the top. Now you'll be able to see over here now a video of me showing that. Essentially that's with the sensors which are built in on this Tineco machine. It picks up where there is dirt and therefore kind of visualizes it on the display. When I was testing it with heavy flour, what I noticed is that it went completely red. So it does very much pick it up very instantaneously and accurately. Now let's switch this off because one, it's pretty loud for the video, but also the fact is I just love that latch. You can turn it, you can even turn on the machine by the latch and turn it off via the latch. The fact that I can use that without having the trigger all the way on was something of a complaint on the V11, so I like the fact that Tineco have kind of integrated this within the machine. So that's pretty much it in terms of build quality and design. I've got no complaints. The weight of it is not bad either. It's relatively, not say lightweight, but it's relatively lightweight. It's the battery which takes the majority of the weight in my opinion, but it's very easy to move around and maneuver if you're going up or down. It is a lightweight sort of cordless vacuum cleaner which allows you to take that. That's the whole point of these kind of vacuum cleaners. So before continuing, I just want to touch upon these three attachments in particular, and yes, there is a sort of change of light because it's later in the day. Now this the mini motorized tool has a sort of plastic bit underneath of it, and as you can see it adjusts. I just want to turn it on so you guys can see it actually working. And then in terms of the attachments themselves, they're very easy to unplug. You just have that little plastic bit and it comes in, and it also clicks into place. Then you've got the actual main direct drive unit. Now the main direct drive unit obviously is never going to be used like this. However, what I want to show you over here is a few things, and that's actually namely the LED. So if I turn it on, you can see there's some LEDs at the front. Now those LEDs are actually very useful for picking up sort of debris that are on the floor, because you get to actually see what's in front of you. Something with the V11 that's not present. So it's great to see actually integrated with the Tineco's direct drive unit. Now the actual head itself is actually really well made. However, what you'll see is that there is only one small intake over here that's kind of elevated off the floor. It doesn't sit flush to the floor in this respect. It kind of sits like this, so therefore trying to allow for larger debris, but I'll get into that a little bit more in more depth in the performance section of it. And yes, you can open it out and then clean it out if you so wish. Another thing I did notice, and it's something that's worth sort of comparing it to the Dyson V11, is the fact that it doesn't have a sort of ball, a mini ball that resides over here. And by that I mean over here, as you can see, Dyson have got this like little ball. Now this little ball means that it's actually very easy to operate and maneuver left and right no matter where you want to go. Whereas Tineco I felt was a little bit more linear. Of course, it does allow you some sort of adjustments, and it has got a sort of a tube design over here which allows it to have this sort of tension to it, and it's got the wheels, so it allows it to have sort of good sort of movement, and it's not like plastic dragging on your floor. However, I found it not as easier to maneuver around corners. If I just wanted to go in an S way, it was a lot easier with that Dyson head than it is with the Tineco. And then I want to touch upon the pre-filter cleaner. Now the pre-filter cleaner is actually pretty cool, because normally with filters what you'd need to do is wash them out, leave them for 24 hours to dry, and then put them back in. Whereas with a pre-filter tool which comes within the unit itself, it allows you to automatically clean the filter using the actual vacuum cleaner itself. To show you how this works, it's pretty simple. You just pop in a filter, which normally you'd get from the bin. So within the bin, it's over here, you get it out, then you pop it in here, put in the other filter, so you get two filters within the box, put in the other filter in here, and then simply switch it on, and you can see over here it starts rolling it around and cleaning it. And you can see the machine automatically picks up what suction power it needs to clean this thing, so it ramps it right up in order to get as much of dirt from this filter as possible. Now this is a small thing to note, but I really like what Tineco have done over here, because it does mean that maintaining your vacuum cleaner is a lot easier and a lot more sort of painless. I know washing out isn't exactly hard, but the fact that they've included this little tool is handy, and it serves a purpose. So good job Tineco in that respect. And finally, to round off this section, I just want to talk about the height of them. As you can see, I mean, I am around 182 odd centimeters, and you can see how it kind of stands. Now, the vacuum cleaners aren't exactly that much different, but the Dyson V11 is slightly taller. So just bear that in mind in terms of posture, or just how tall you might be. So now we get on to the most important part of the review, the performance section. And in order to test the suction power of both this and the Dyson V11, I put a sort of suction meter on the end of the heads and basically pulled the trigger on different modes. This basically indicated the kilopascals achieved, and I used my phone using on the slowest setting in order to capture the highest amount of frames, so I could pick up exactly where it tailed off. And here it was quite interesting to see where the Tineco compared with the Dyson V11. I wrote all of these on my phone, so you have to bear in mind that that's why I'm reading my phone. On the highest setting, the Tineco achieved 25 kPa, whilst the Dyson V11 achieved 30. On the medium setting, and by medium I mean medium on the Dyson or the auto mode, and basically adjusted to the medium sort of setting in that dial that you saw at the beginning, the Tineco achieved 17.5, whilst the Dyson achieved a little less at 15. On the lowest mode settings on both machines, the Tineco achieved 7.5, while the Dyson achieved 10. Now, these are just sort of indicators, they're not absolutes. However, this was the only way I could really test the suction of both machines. However, suction power isn't everything. Yes, you can have the most powerful machine, but if it's not going to clean things, what's the point of having all that power? Well, in order to create a sort of controlled environment, what I did was put flour on the floor, both on short pile carpet and on hardwood floor, and also some Cheerios, and half of the Cheerios were also crushed by my feet in order to make it over like a sort of lifelike scenario where you'll have smaller debris and then larger debris, and then obviously soft debris as in the flour. Now the flour was picked up fantastically. There was no sort of residue left on either hardwood or on the carpet. Better still, this was with only one slow pass over said floors. So I wasn't doing multiple passes, there was one single steady pass on either floor. Now, it's very impressive to see these results, and I must say both machines performed admirably. However, when it came to Cheerio tests, this is where things got interesting. So first of all, the Cheerio test on the short pile carpet. Tineco did a fantastic job. It did leave a few extra Cheerios behind, but again, remember this is one single pass, not a double pass. Compared with the Dyson V11, I used it on the minus setting mode, so therefore opening up sort of the barricades and therefore having that extra sort of vents, so to allow larger debris to come into that torque head. And again, the Dyson V11 performed in the very same manner as the Tineco. However, when I moved to hard flooring, everything changed. The Dyson V11 here picked up pretty much, again, almost flawless results, leaving 1 or 2 Cheerios back. So it did a fantastic job in sucking all those Cheerios in and not snow plowing them. However, the Tineco, on the other hand, due to it not having that sort of adjustable dial at the front and also having one single intake, almost like a valley, which if the valley gets blocked up, it's not going to suck up anything up, it struggled. And in this case, it snow plowed all the large debris in front of it, picking up 1 or 2 Cheerios by the off chance. It was kind of disappointing to see this. It is avoidable if you're going to be using it in real world scenarios, because you can just lift up the head just a little bit, but then you might get scatter because of those things kind of turning around at a very high velocity. They might chuck Cheerios or chuck large debris across the room, which is not something you want. This is where it boiled down to, is that the Dyson V11 was the more versatile no matter the flooring, and I did try it on kind of longer or thicker sort of carpet, and both again performed pretty much identically. So it really is the fact that that head is limiting the Tineco's performance. And finally, let's talk about battery life. Now over here, you'll be able to see me kind of running the machines, and also I will go into a sound test as well, so you guys can hear how they differ. But essentially, I had the short pile carpet there running, had an elastic band around the V11 while the latch enabled on the Tineco, and I ran them on 2 different modes. I ran them on the highest max mode, and in this respect, the Tineco lasted 9 minutes and 20 seconds, whilst the V11 lasted 12 minutes and 37 seconds. On the lowest mode setting, the Tineco performed only lasted 27 minutes, which was pretty disappointing, because in comparison, the Dyson V11 lasted 57 minutes. Now bear in mind, this is with only 1 battery. Of course, if I would swap in another battery, I would get double the performance, which at that point would be surpassing the Dyson's performance battery life tests. However, as I'm making a fair comparison both with the Dyson's head and also in terms of the battery life, I have to be comparing apples for apples. And in this respect, the Tineco didn't perform as well in terms of its single battery life usage versus the Dyson V11. And now finally, let's go in terms of a little sound demo. I'm around 5 to 6 meters away from the machines, and then you can hear me walking closer to the machines, and you guys can hear them for yourself. What you heard there is a sound comparison of the two. Now personally, I found the Tineco a little bit more higher pitched than the Dyson V11, but it was quieter on the lowest mode setting, and this lowest power setting in comparison to the Dyson V11. But again, your mileage may vary depending on your flooring and depending how you're using it and depending on what mode you use, but pretty much equivalent in terms of sound demo. But now let's get into the most important thing: would I buy this thing? Now, there's a lot of good things going for this Tineco PURE ONE S12. From the touch interface, which really is intuitive and works flawlessly, the fact that it's got app integration, and yes, it might not serve a purpose for some, but it's actually quite cool to visualize and or to see how you're cleaning. The fact that it's got actually a sort of particle meter which shows you what dirt is being picked up and how much dirt of it is actually being picked up by the machine is also another cool trait. The fact that you get a wide array of accessories, including even a filter cleaner, a motorized filter cleaner, and more so a removable battery, which is absolutely incredible to have. And you know, I know some cordless vacuum cleaners out there do it, but the Dyson V11 in this respect doesn't. And finally, that the fact that you've got a trigger mechanism with a latch allowing you to use the machine without having to constantly press the button is a great addition as well. So you'd think over here that the S12 is the obvious buy, given the fact that it's $100 cheaper than the Dyson V11. However, I'd be lying to say that that would be the case given the overall attributes of the Dyson V11. For me, the Dyson V11 has a head that moves more freely, has a head that's adjustable and therefore picks up larger debris, and in terms of single-use battery life, lasts longer, in fact a lot longer in the eco mode versus the Tineco, which to me indicate that the Dyson V11 in overall, in terms of the best cordless vacuum cleaner that you can potentially get, no matter the budget, would still go to the Dyson V11. But as I said, the S12 is not a bad alternative. So that's pretty much it. In terms of my conclusion, if I had that amount of money to spend, I'd pay the extra $100 and I'll get the Dyson V11, or wait for it to come on sale, at which point you'll get to the same price range as the Tineco PURE ONE S12. If, however, you want something with all those attachments, you don't like Dyson, for example, or you just want something different and actually pretty cool and unique, then the Tineco is a great alternative. So ladies and gentlemen, if you've enjoyed this enjoyed this content, make sure you give it a like, subscribe, favorite and share, as it'll help the channel grow. And be sure to leave a comment if you've got any questions, any sort of queries about either machine or how they compare in certain ways. Be sure to ask me and I'll answer any sort of questions that you might have. So there we go guys, I've been Totally Dubbed. Take care and bye bye.